Yo, what is going on, people? This is your boy Infrastructure That Fire. Today we're diving into something. Is Jump Force actually worth it, man? That's a big question I have gotten lately. So we're actually going to break this down by talking about the story mode, the roster, gameplay on online, and as well as kind of wrapping it up and giving you guys my final verdict about how I feel about Jump Force and is the game actually worth it. So let's hop right into the video. So of course, when it comes to story mode, I feel like the story mode is pretty lackluster. I feel like it has a really similar storyline to a couple other games that I have. I mean, what could the games be? I mean, I feel like this story has just never been done, but it feels like I've also played it a crap ton. I'm not sure. But yes, man, the story mode is very, very similar to games like Fighter Z or Fighters, however you want to say it. Then, of course, other games like Xenoverse, Xenoverse 2. It's the same Bandai Namco story that they do in every single anime game they have been doing lately. It's the same evil versions of yourself. There's a big boss at the end. You fight the big boss at the end. Everything is good to go. Overall, though, the story mode does have a lot of glitchy scenes, and not to mention when the game first launched, you could not skip any of the cutscenes. How do you make a game, Spike? I don't understand it. How do you make a game and you can't skip the cutscenes? You have to watch 100% of every single cutscene that comes on during the story mode, which makes the story mode so much longer. If you could skip the cutscenes, which you can do now with the most recent update and patch they sent out, but when you didn't have that patch and you were playing it with the Ultimate Edition, you were screwed. You were absolutely fucked on that. I'm sorry, I didn't want to cuss there, but look, you were absolutely fucked on there. You couldn't skip any damn cutscenes, which really made the entire story mode feel like a damn chore. Not to mention, you had, like I said, a lot of glitchy scenes. Everything was kind of wonky and wacky. There was not that much good dialogue. The only interesting part I liked about the story mode was Prometheus and Cain, because those are really, really cool. There was not many good interactions throughout the entire story mode, to really be honest like that. You had Sanji just kind of drooling over some girl. You had Goku kind of being his Goku ass self. Same thing with Naruto and Luffy. But overall, I would say the story mode is probably the most lackluster part of the game, but it is pretty mandatory, saying that if you wanted Cain Galena, you have to do it. Just to find out, look on the roster, they are not there. And speaking about the roster, when it comes down to the roster, I've had so many people say, I hate the roster, I love the roster, I hate the roster, I love the roster. The roster overall is not a bad roster. You have a roster of 40 playable characters. If you want to go ahead and count Cain and Galena, which we're supposed to get, you were supposed to have more characters, but there's only 40 playable characters, with including your CAC. Now, of course, a lot of people are hating on some of the characters, like Piccolo, which they feel shouldn't have made it in, as well as Cell, I would say also Renji. They're like, why the hell are these characters in the game? Same thing, a lot of people didn't want to see Deku as like a main source character, like a main roster character. They want to see him as a DLC, or even Boruto, because he was a very, very hated character for a lot of people who wanted to not see him in Jump Force. But anyways, the roster overall is not a bad roster. You have a very good mix of characters from, you know, Dragon Ball, from Naruto, from One Piece being the main three of the game, as well as giving you pretty interesting picks like Jotaro, Dio, Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is actually a really interesting character to play as well as you have some pretty iconic characters like Kenshiro, of course, Saint Seiya, and I would say even some of your Hunter characters, which makes it really, really a bulkier kind of roster overall, in my opinion. But I like it. It's not a bad roster by any means. Now, when it comes to your gameplay and online, this is where the game definitely gets a little rough. So if you have the headspace coming into Jump Force saying, hey, I'm gonna play online with my friends, I'm gonna rematch them, I'm gonna have tournament mode, endless mode, I'm gonna have all these awesome modes I can actually make content with if you're a YouTuber, or even just play my friends with if you're not a YouTuber, well, I'm gonna say something, you guessed wrong. Unless they're gonna patch this in post-game, which I'll talk about in just a little bit, honestly, this game is very lackluster when it comes to online. So of course, you do have the ranked in player match like any other fighting game that is gonna be out there. You're gonna have the standard stuff. Now, when you do the player match and you do send an invite to your friend, you can't rematch them, which it makes a very irritating setup that you have to do after every single match. You have to go out the lobby, wait for it to load. The load times are horrendous. Oh my god, even with the patch, the load times are still horrendous. Then you have to go ahead and set up the lobby again and then send an invite. You win or lose, then you have to go back to the lobby, load times, then you have to set up again, load times, pick your character, all this stuff, then you have to send an invite again. There's no easy way to do this. Not to mention, there is a huge lack in game modes. Like I said, guys, you only have ranked in player. There is no endless battle. There is no tournament mode. There's no survival mode. There's not even a damn arcade mode. There's nothing. There's nothing but either you're gonna play offline with the mission mode, which is not bad at all. You can play the mission mode, which I guess could fulfill an arcade mode, but it's not really an arcade mode. Or you can play your online matches like your ranked or your player match. But honestly, I really wanted to see tournament mode. This game could have been so much better with tournament mode, endless mode, stuff like that, man. I feel like they really dropped the ball in the online modes, and that's something that you really can't recover from unless you patch it in. But still, up front, that's some game modes that could have made the game initially 100 times better. 100 times better. I would be playing this game a lot more with my friends, making more video content, stuff like that. But you can't rematch. You can't only do player and rank match, which honestly I don't feel like getting cheesed all the damn time, which is another segment of this. Now the gameplay overall feels really smooth, and I do like the gameplay. It feels really great. You actually can do some really smooth combos, really cool effects. Now people do cheese like a hell. Like they cheese like hell in this game. They cheese so damn much when it comes to Ryo, Jotaro, Dio, doesn't matter who it is, everyone does kind of have like their cheese moments. Overall though, the gameplay is not bad, and playing with different sets of characters does make the game very interesting. So I say overall the gameplay is pretty nice. Now only thing I would say that needs to be worked on is the high speed counter, because a lot of people can't really get it down because the timing is so small. Now that we come to the end of the video, the biggest question a lot of you guys still have is Jump Force worth it, Infamous? Is this worth our hard-earned money, man? Is this worth us dropping all our pennies for us? Of course it is! I can't even say this shit with a straight face, man. Oh my goodness. Let me just keep it straight with you guys. I'm going to keep it a whole stack with you. Is Jump Force worth it? Yes and no. I would say no because it's very lackluster, and it's maybe some of the characters you would like to see, so maybe it doesn't fit your personal roster. Not to mention you don't have good online modes, and the story mode is very mediocre. But at the same time, I'm going to say yes because it is an entertaining and fun game to play. Not to mention you can use a whole bunch of different anime characters, which something of course we did have in J-Stars or even the DS version of that game, but this one is a really smooth and really good looking game in my opinion. It looks really good. It's nice and rendered, nice good graphics. But here's my thing. The game is not worth $60. I don't think that in any shape, way, or form you should spend $60 on this game. Even if you're a hardcore anime fan, I would say wait till it's about $49.99. If you're not a hardcore anime fan, wait till this shit's about 20 bucks or even $29.99. I would say let's just wait for that price point. This game is not a $60 game. This is not $59.99 worthy. I will tell you that right now. I think the game is fun. You can enjoy yourself playing the game, customizing your character, and I didn't even talk about that portion of the game. Yes, you can customize your character and you can make dope looking characters. Not to mention you can even make characters that aren't even in the game. There's been so many character creation tutorials, even the ones that I do, showing off characters like making Hinata, Saitama, Genos, like there's so many different characters like Adult Boruto, Sakura, since she's not in the game, etc. But the thing is, the game is not worth $60 by any means. I don't think it is. Don't waste your money on the game at this point. I would say wait till the game is about, if you can and you feel like this is a good time, wait till the game is $39.99. That will be a great price point. By that time they have updated the game just a good amount. That way it will feel a lot more complete when you pick up your copy, and you should enjoy the game more, you know, than the rest of us that kind of picked it up day one or even the Ultimate Edition or got it even earlier than that. So I would say, man, for sure the game is worth it in some sense, but it is not at the same time. Kind of take your pick on that one, but I would say if you are going to pick it up, make sure you wait till that thing is $39.99, $29.99, or just 20 bucks, man. It's not a $60 game. By far. It is definitely not, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Sorry this video was so long, but I wanted to give you guys as much information as I could. I will see you guys in the next video. This has been your boy Infamous, and I am out.